Welcome to the Leopard Lair, presented by Straggat Media. I'm your host, Jon Aljancic. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. We want to start off by thanking our main sponsor, Dr. Mike Thomas, and all that he does for the city of Louisville and the school district, as well as Jared Heller with Leopard Nation and all of his coverage of Louisville sports as well. So very much appreciated. So we have a great show for you tonight, and we're going to start off tonight with our girls softball team. So really excited to talk to them. We have first-year head coach Kristen Miller, as well as Jenna Collins, Kenzie Denzer, and Brooke Brendel. So girls, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so let's start off. How's the season going so far?
Okay, I'll go first. Pretty good. The team is really good, and I feel like we've been progressing, working as a team better. And it's a young team. We're getting to know each other a lot better. So we're a real family. We're all sisters. We work together all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I think going along with being a young team, to play well together, you have to have that chemistry and that team bonding, and we're slowly getting there. So hopefully by the end of the season, we'll be there and we'll be able to pull through for a winning season.
Especially in our defense, we have to know that on our offense we have to produce.
All right, cool. Now I heard there was a small hiccup tonight against Waynedale, but we're gonna stay positive and stay with the Alliance win last night, huh, Coach? 7-6 big win.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so Kristen's our first-year head coach. Was an assistant for the last 8 years. So Kristen, talk to us about the difference between being an assistant for 8 years, and all of a sudden you move one seat over, and now all of a sudden you're making all the calls. How's that been going so far?
So being an assistant coach is much more fun.
Okay.
But it's very rewarding. We have a great group of girls. The challenge is that you kind of feel some responsibility when we take a loss. But they're getting to a point, just to kind of build off what they said, that they are starting to. They're getting to a point where they need to fire on all cylinders. Some games our offense is really good, and some games our defense is really good, but there's been lots of improvements. So just like taking it personal, I'm pretty competitive, but there's a lot that goes into head coaching that I was not aware of. So, but being an assistant's wonderful. You just be like, go get them, and then you're done.
It's a little bit easier, huh?
Yeah.
So, all right, girls. So, Brooke, you're a third baseman. Catcher.
Yeah.
Kenzie, now Brooke and Jenna are both seniors. Kenzie, you're a sophomore. Brooke and Jenna, how would you say, you being a freshman to now being a senior, what have you learned the most, coming up through this program, just from those 4 years of maturation for you two?
I feel like the biggest thing I've learned is how to be a good teammate and how to cheer on a younger player if you're an upperclassman. Say you get taken out of the lineup, you should be the biggest cheerleader for them, and you should cheer for them even if they're in your spot or if they're in the field for you. So I feel like I've learned to be a great teammate and cheer everybody on.
Yeah, I would say there's a pretty big difference between being a freshman and a senior. Freshman year, you're pretty nervous. You might have a lot of pressure on you to do good. And then senior year, that kind of falls off. You're a senior, you're looking to have a good season and stuff like that. And also with the girls, as a senior, guiding the young ones into your traditions and stuff like that, doing stuff at practice, helping them out, versus freshman year, looking for that help. So I think that's the biggest difference between, the ages.
Okay. Now, how about you, Kenzie? Being a sophomore, your workload obviously becoming more and more from a freshman to sophomore, and hopefully these next 2 years. How has your jump been from a freshman to now a sophomore?
I think the pressure from being a freshman to a sophomore has definitely gone off my shoulders a lot, but there's still some, not as pressure, but nervousness as I step onto the field, but the seniors definitely help that go away.
Good. Now, are there any girls, obviously you guys, were around for the 2019 state championship team. Is there anybody you kind of look up to from that team that, you maybe model your work ethic or just in general your approach to softball? Is there anybody that sticks out to you?
All of them. They all have great work ethic, and I look up to all of them. They're great players, great people, and they really helped me. They were seniors when I was freshmen, and I really, really looked up to them. So
I agree. The whole team as a whole, just seeing them play together and watching the state championship game, seeing that connection and stuff, I think it's important for a team to have that. And so I definitely look up to how well they played as a team, and I hope that we can get there by the end of the season.
Was probably Kaylee Nolte. I got to play with her my freshman year, but me and her have the same mindset when it comes to the field, and we butt heads a lot, but I liked her a lot, so came down.
Cool. Now you're 4-6 roughly through the midway point of the season. Tell us, what are your goals for the rest of the season? As you head into the tournament, where do you want this team to be come tournament time? And Coach, you can chime in on that as well after them.
I think it's ideal, obviously, to have a winning season. With every team, you want a winning season, to have a good season. So I would like to have a winning season, but I think most of the games, even that we have lost, have been pretty close. We only lose by 1 or 2. So I think that's important, and just to learn from those games and to keep moving forward. So to have a winning season would be nice.
The record we have right now, I feel like isn't ideal, but there's parts in the games when you really break down the games. It comes down to we did do this good, but we do have that inning where we kind of make an error after an error. We do. Someone steps up and someone goes in, say we have a meeting. We say, okay, guys, let's get it together. We know what we can do. We can do this. We can get out of it. We really back each other getting out of that. So I just feel like if we push with that a little bit more and a lot of us really step up and have each other's backs, we can eliminate that inning where they score a lot of runs and get back in and hit, and I feel like it could be really productive.
The domino inning, as Coach Miller says, we need to eliminate that in most games, but we've been doing pretty good with our offense as our bats are coming alive during the season now.
How about you, Coach?
They have grown each game. So, the record is not ideal. And what Kenzie's describing, the domino inning, is an inning where, we're usually up and then it just kind of falls apart. And so we've really been working on who's going to make the next play. Who's going to step up and make the next play. And I think that they have done that. I think that they are getting to a point, and I was telling one of your co-hosts earlier that we got to get to a point where we're on all cylinders. The offense will be really good and the defense will be really good, but softball and baseball are games of failures, and I think that a lot of these girls take it personal. So one thing we always like to say too is late in the game matters. Once you've had that first at bat, you fail. Second at bat, you fail. Third at bat, that's usually when it matters. And tonight we started a rally there at the end, and we had kind of a ball drop in. Somebody had to tag, and it just there was a force out, but. They're a fighting team. We have not younger, but spin ball pitchers, which means that, they're not overpowering pitchers, which is fine, but our defense has to play to those pitchers. And when you have the domino inning, it's rough. So we'll get there. They're right. They have come together. These 3 offensively have been lights out. And we have a few other ones that are coming alive. So we've known from the beginning that we have to out-hit people to win. So I think we're getting there. And they're a great group of girls. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And finally, Brooke and Jenna, you guys are seniors. What are your plans when you graduate? What does next year look like for you two?
Well, I'm going to attend Walsh University and major in sports management. So I won't be playing softball there, but I'm doing something I love. So.
Okay.
This year I got my cosmetology license, so I'm already working at my mom's salon. So I'll probably be doing that over the next, maybe for the rest of my life. But I'm also going to Akron.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe. I'm going to Akron University to be a math teacher, so a little mix of both.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And Kenzie, what's your favorite subject right now?
Math.
Math. Awesome. Probably inspired by Mr. A in middle school, I'm guessing. No, I'm just kidding.
Sure.
You don't have to. Good answer. Good answer. Well, girls, we really appreciate you joining us. And it sounds like the season's, there's been struggles up and down, and like Coach Miller, like you said, baseball or softball are games of failure. I mean, getting a hit 3 out of 10 times, going 30% and anything else in life is probably not very good, but in baseball it's very good. But just want to encourage you, especially with the tournament. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, and you want to be playing your best softball at the end of the year, and it sounds like you guys are making progress there. So, Brooke, Kenzie, Jenna, Coach Miller, really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, well, next up, we will have the football team with us and defensive coach Jake Atkins and a couple of his players. So stay tuned.
Beatty Sports has all of your athletic needs, specializing in corporate, school, and team apparel. In-house custom embroidery and silk screening makes the Beatty Sports tradition of quality and service unbeatable. Go Leopards!
When Superintendent Schaefer, the school board, and new head coach Troy Davis asked me to pick up for Dennis Beery and fund the new scoreboard, I thought it was a daunting task. But we did it. The people in Louisville love the Leopards, and as for Thomas & Associates Dental, we have one thing to say: band, cheerleaders, football team.
All right, welcome back. I'm your host, Jon Aljancic, here at the Leopard Lair, presented by Straggat Media. So good to have you tonight, and so good to be joined by one of the members of our coaching staff for our football team and two of our players. So second-year defensive coordinator Jake Atkins, thanks for joining us. Junior Shane Gates and junior Connor Morley, thanks for coming on, guys. Much appreciated.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here tonight.
Well, good. Well, good. Well, so far, how's the preparation going for the 2022 season?
Right now, the preparation's going very well. We've kind of hit the ground running with our weight room right now. In the off season, that's very an important part of your football season is the weight room aspect of things. But our kids have done a fabulous job thus far to this point. Kids are willing to work right now. Our senior leadership is very, very good, and our young kids are buying in. So we feel very, very good with where we're at right now. And it's all about the kids. You know, they're working extremely hard, and we're very excited for next football season.
Good. Now, how about you guys? Shane, a returner at nose tackle, a returning starter, as well as Connor, a returner at the spur position, which is like a strong safety outside linebacker type. How has the preparation been for you? I know, Connor, you've been kind of preparing by hitting fastballs so far for the baseball team, but how about you guys?
Preparation's been going good. We've been doing like our battle Fridays, lifting out, so working out and everything. So I've been going like a personal trainer and stuff. So I mean, everything's going good. Rehab, I'm cleared. I got cleared like 3 weeks ago, so I'm healing up. So
good.
Yeah, like he said, the senior class really tried to preach this year about weight room and getting bigger and eating a lot more, because we really wanted to be a successful football team this year. And I know a lot of guys on the team, including myself and Shane, we go to trainers off to the side, and we do all of that just to try to prepare for the season to make it as best as possible.
And I took half of that to heart. I've been eating a lot more lately, but maybe not the weight room as much. But now, Shane, you talked about the battle of the belt. Have you held on to that belt? Last week we had Braden Hershey here, and he was clinging to that belt. He seemed pretty smug with it. A, have you had your hands on it? And B, are we going to get our hands on it anytime soon?
I hope I get my hands on it, but I have not had my hands on it yet.
Okay, all right. It's tough to see a sophomore running around with that, but it is what it is. Good job, Braden. So now, as you go into this season, Coach, this is your second year. This is your 9th year on the Leopard staff in general, but your second year as a D coordinator. How would you classify your coaching style and getting these guys motivated and whatnot?
Sure. First of all, coaching at a place like Louisville is a blessing. And I think you can never forget about the traditions, that have been laid down before you. And that includes the players, the coaches. So, just trying to continue that tradition, instilling that into our players is very important to us as a coaching staff. I think as our main job as coaches is to, make our players, prepare our players as best as we can possible so that they can be successful on the field. Along with that, we take great pride in helping these kids grow as men off the field. And I think that's been a big staple in our program as Coach Davis continues, to do that with our kids, helping these kids not only on the field, but in life as well.
Well, I tell you what, as an observer, a fan of the alumni of Louisville, watching you guys last year, I know maybe the record didn't indicate success, but I tell you what, with the effort level and how hard you guys played, it made me proud to be a Leopard week in and week out. So I can definitely see how it's just not on the field, football play, but it's more the character and whatnot too that I see as well, kind of shining through.
Yes, no doubt. I mean, these kids have been through a lot. The past 2 seasons, playing a very hard schedule. We respect all of our opponents, very good, schools football-wise. But I agree, our kids fought the entire year. And, I think we have something to build off of as we go into next season. Ending the season with 2 wins. I think that's key for us moving forward. And, I think our kids learned a lot of how to fight, when things are not going your way. But sooner or later, I know it's going to pay off for these kids.
Well, Shane and Connor, 2 key returners to this defensive side of the football. What are your goals for the defensive unit as you go in? Is there anything like you have set in stone, like, these are these things, a couple of things we want to accomplish game in and game out? Can you explain more for us?
Well, what I like is I feel like we should keep it under 14 points, 21 points each game. That's my expectation that I always wanted to do. So, our defense, we're always flying the ball. Last year we had sparks of it. We were so good. I mean, that's my goal. I just know our group of guys can do this, can do the 21 points or under. So that's my expectation.
Well, I'd say my goal for our defense, I wouldn't say we were the strongest tacklers last year, but I want to be a lot better at a tackling team. And I want to make our defense, I want to make them feared. Like, I just want to see that we limit them so much that they look defeated on their sideline by the end of the game.
Speaking of fear defensive, Coach Axon's 2010 graduate of Louisville, part of the state final team back in '07. What do you want to instill, again, now as your second year D coordinator, but like as a defensive unit? You guys were obviously very good back then. What are you trying to instill from there to this team now to keep building on last year?
Yeah, I would say, it comes down to one word, and that's brotherhood. I tell a lot of people the reason that team was so good, there was a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons was the brotherhood from sophomore, freshman to senior for that matter, and how tight-knit of a group that was. We've always said mow your own grass, and, that's something that never changes as far as a defensive unit. Having guys dialed in, understanding what their job is in the defense, and then executing that is something that we're really honing in on. And that's something that team did back in 2007 very well. But at the end of the day, these guys touched on it, holding teams, to as few points as possible. But not only that, we're really looking to, get the ball back for our offense as much as possible, creating more turnovers, and then as Connor said, being a more physical tackling team. And I think if we do those things, we'll have a successful season.
Well, I tell you what, I heard it once said, everybody has uphill dreams but downhill habits. And uphill dreams means you look at that trophy, you look at it up here, but everybody has downhill habits. It's a lot easier to run downhill. And so between talking to the guys last week and talking to you guys today, just with the hard work putting in, like, that's the key to success. And I keep seeing it, I keep hearing about it, and I tell you what, I guess I'm going to speak for the rest of Leopard Nation. I'm really excited to see it come this fall. So. Connor, Shane, Coach Atkins, we really appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with our weekly roundup.
Beatty Sports has all of your athletic needs, specializing in corporate, school, and team apparel. In-house custom embroidery and silk screening makes the Beatty Sports tradition of quality and service unbeatable. Go Leopards!
When Superintendent Schaefer, the school board, and new head coach Troy Davis asked me to pick up for Dennis Beery and fund the new scoreboard, I thought it was a daunting task. But we did it. The people in Louisville love the Leopards, and as for Thomas & Associates Dental, we have one thing to say: band, cheerleaders, football team.
Straggat Media. Really love having you here. Loved having our softball team and some of the members of our football team tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Also want to thank our main sponsor, Dr. Mike Thomas, once again, for all he does for Leopard Lair, as well as Jared Heller and what he does through the Leopard Media, Leopard Nation. So to wrap it up tonight, we're going to have our weekly wrap-up, and we're going to start off first with our boys baseball team, currently with an record of 8-5, with a great win last night against a Dover team that had previously only lost one game up to that point, on the strength of another strong performance on the mound by Anthony Warner, and closed out by sophomore Zach Root and a bomb by J.T. Popik. So well done, boys. They play tomorrow night at Perry, and then they'll play a rescheduled game on Saturday against the Northwestern team. So so far they're 8-5. We also have the boys lacrosse team. They're currently 5-3 right now. They have a game tomorrow night at Worcester at 7:30, and then again play early next week against a good Gates Mills Hawken team at 7 p.m. on April 26th. Our girls lacrosse team had a tough loss last night against a really good Glen Oak team that fall to 2-5, but girls making tremendous strides, and then they play next Monday at home against Southeast at 6 p.m. So you may want to take that game in. And then also our softball team that we just talked to tonight has a record of 4-6. Just had a tough loss again tonight to Waynedale, but had a good win last night against Alliance. And then they play tomorrow night against Lake at 5 p.m. at home, and then they have a doubleheader starting at 10 a.m. against Dover at home as well, so be sure to take in both of those games. Also, they play, and then last but not least, our boys tennis team is 4-4. They play in the annual Doubles Classic this Saturday against Lake, Hoover, and Dover. Should be a wonderful tournament. And then finally, our boys and girls track teams, they compete this Saturday in the Stark County Championships at Perry High School. So good luck, boys and girls. Just a note, if you are interested in sponsoring the Leopard Lair, an upcoming show, or a team highlight, the Leopard that the Leopard Lair is going to cover, please contact us at straggatmedia@gmail.com. Again, that's straggatmedia@gmail.com, or hit us up on the Leopard Lair Messenger on Facebook. So, well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Again, really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us here at the Lair. Good night, everybody, and go Leopards.